Hi again then guys, and so we've got another updated Le Mans prototype tune for you today, and this time it's for the slightly underappreciated Panoz Esperante or GTR-1, which is of course a GT1 class prototype. So you want your racing soft tyres. For suspension we've got the rear ride height on 50, front 10mm higher. Springs we've got on 17 front and rear. For the dampers we've got 1 on compression and 3 on extension. Anti-roll as low as possible, neutral camber and toe. For the gearbox, I can't recall if I did a gearbox flip on this one. I think I may have done from the 3000 point, but I'm not sure at the moment. So you want your auto setting to 249. Then for the individual gears, 3.7, 2.3, 1650, 1275, 1000 and 750 with a final drive of 2.8. For the diff, you want the lowest initial torque, of course, high acceleration and low braking. You want your high RPM turbo, and as usual, your downforce set as low as possible. Traction control is, of course, turned off. And so this is one of the slower prototypes in the game. People don't often refer to it as a prototype, but it is, because it was made as a racing car before a road model, just like the Toyota GT1 and the Nissan R390, whereas the look of the car and the kind of image that it has, an aura that it gives off, it's more like a GT class machine, more like a road car that was turned into a racing car, which I think is probably how most people think of the car, but that's just not the case. As far as performance, it's not quite at the same pace as something like a Minolta or a GT1, of course, but it's still no slouch. It's one of, as I said, the slower prototype models. It cruises at about 264, so it's not as faster, or as much faster, as my existing tune for it. My existing tune did about 260, so we've only increased it a little bit. But still, any increase is an increase. And as far as draft potential, well, as you can see, you're fairly close to the red line, so if you do need more draft out of this car, and I don't see that many people using this for top speed racing anyway, but if you do need more, obviously you'll want to extend the final drive a little bit lower. As far as handling, it's a pretty good model. It has, of course, a relatively unique layout among the prototypes that are on the game, being a front mid-engine car. They classify it as front engine, but technically it's front mid, which does give it quite unique handling. Now, the car isn't completely accurate to real life, not only visually but also spec-wise. It's heavier than it should be, which is kind of a shame. It does kind of impede the car's ability compared to some of the other prototypes around the track, which is a shame. But it's still one of my personal favourite prototypes in the game. I love the look of the car. It's always been one of those cars on GranTurismo that people have considered to be more expensive than it's actually worth. But I personally have always liked the car, and I hope we get more Panoz models on the game in the future, because I'm a big fan of the company and a big fan of their racing team. So if you decide to use this tune, obviously I hope you find it helpful and of course competitive. And if you're new to the channel or just found this helpful in general, I do put out updated tunes like this fairly regularly. I'm putting out a lot over the next couple of weeks, almost exclusively for Le Mans prototypes. And I put out various other top speed tunes the rest of the time as well, various other tunes and reviews in the week also. So feel free to subscribe if that interests you. And as always, thanks for watching.